Hello guys and welcome to my chapter review for chapter 270 of Tokyo Revengers. And the title for chapter 270 is called, Worth My While. This chapter begins with Shinichiro driving his car, and Baji is sitting in the passenger seat, and they are on their way to pick up Sanzu from jail. Baji asks Shinichiro why he cares for Sanzu. He says that Sanzu slashed his own friend with a katana, so he is not right in the head. But Shinichiro just smiles and tells Baji not to say something like that. And then we learn the reason why Sanzu was in jail, because Sanzu's friends were speaking ill of Mikey, so then Sanzu attacked them, and he has been in jail for over a year. We also learn that Baji has quit middle school, and in this timeline he never even met Chifuyu. And Baji says that he thinks that there is nothing great about middle school, so it doesn't matter that he decided to quit anyway. When they arrive at the jail, they see Sanzu, and we see that Sanzu has a scar across his left eye, and he also has a gloomy expression on his face. Sanzu was happy to see Shinichiro, and Shinichiro greets Sanzu with a smile on his face. However, Baji did not say anything at all, and it looks like Baji has grown farther apart from Sanzu ever since they were kids. However, in this timeline Sanzu is still close to Shinichiro. We learn some information about Takomi, and we learn that he is on non-speaking terms with Sanzu, so that is the reason why Shinichiro came to pick him up instead. And Sanzu asks Shinichiro how Mikey is doing. And then Shinichiro smiles, and then he asks Sanzu if he wants to go see Mikey. At this point Mikey's condition has gotten a lot worse. He has very hollow cheeks, and he also has sunken eyes, and he is so skinny that he looks like a skeleton. Sanzu hadn't seen Mikey in a year, and when he saw Mikey's condition he became extremely distressed, and his facial expression looked very worried. Even though Mikey is brain dead, Sanzu is still incredibly loyal to Mikey, and Sanzu kneels down to touch Mikey's hand. However, when he sees how skinny Mikey is, Sanzu suddenly jerks backwards, and then he starts breaking down in tears. Sanzu can tell Mikey is dying, and he is heartbroken that he can't do anything about it. After visiting with Mikey, Sanzu starts walking back home with Baji, and both of them are in a very depressed mood, and Sanzu remarks that Mikey is in a way worse condition than he was in last year. And Sanzu says that that person is not Mikey anymore. And while he is saying this, Sanzu is crying, and he also has many sweat drops on his face. And we can see the horrible way that Mikey's condition is affecting Sanzu, and this is a really sad chapter, guys. Baji says that he is very worried about Shinichiro because of how hard his life has been lately. Shinichiro's grandfather just died, and his little sister Emma ran away from home. And not only that, but in order to become Mikey's caretaker, Shinichiro was forced to study while working at the hospital at the same time. Shinichiro's life has been horrible lately, and he doesn't have anyone who he can rely on, but he still does not give up, and he does everything he can to help save the people he cares about. And his persistence and his determination to not give up is reminding me of Takemichi. Shinichiro dropped all of his dreams to put himself through nursing school in order to save his dying brother, and this is yet another example of how much Shinichiro cares for Mikey. And after seeing Mikey's condition, Baji says to himself that he thinks Mikey won't be alive much longer. And this chapter gets even sadder when we get the news of Mikey's death. On the date of July 20th, Mikey passed away, and we see that Mikey's dead body is laying in a casket, and this casket is filled with a bunch of flowers. When Shinichiro got the news of Mikey's death, he reached his breaking point, and he completely lost his sanity. He tried to take out his anger by punching a wall, and Shinichiro punched a bunch of holes in this wall. Shinichiro's veins are popping out of his eyes, and he has tears streaming down his face, which shows the despair that he is feeling in this moment. We also see this heartbreaking panel of Shinichiro freaking out. He is foaming out of his mouth like a rabid animal, while he has veins popping out all over his body, and he is gritting his teeth while crying uncontrollably. Mikey's death had a massive impact on Shinichiro, and it completely changed him as a person. After going on a rampage, Shinichiro decided to go meet up with Wakasa. In the past 4 years that Mikey's been brain dead, Shinichiro got himself involved in many shady businesses so that he could help Mikey in whatever he needed. He paid for a lot of therapies, and he even paid a lot of money to suspicious religious groups. However, despite all of his effort, none of that worked, and they all ended up being liars. Shinichiro contemplated whether or not he should get revenge on these people by killing them all as punishment for lying to him. Shinichiro has not been sleeping at all, and he has bags under his eyes. After Mikey's death he looks like a different person. And this is a side to Shinichiro that we have never seen before. We then see the future version of Wakasa in this original timeline, and Wakasa says that he is honestly glad that Mikey finally passed away. But he only says this because he was worried that Shinichiro would be the one to die first. Wakasa is smoking a cigarette, and he has new tattoos on his arms and chest. And it looks like Benkei is dead in this timeline because Wakasa got the same exact tattoo that Benkei had on his chest. During this time Wakasa became the leader of a Yakuza gang, and he also owns his own bar. And then Wakasa invites Shinichiro to go drinking at his bar as a parting gift for Mikey. While they are drinking at the bar, Shinichiro overhears some delinquents talking about a time leaper. They say this old man with a weird face said he could time leap, and he even said he can't do it without a trigger, which shows that this old man is the real deal. After overhearing their story, Shinichiro decides to approach the delinquents, and he orders them to tell him more about their story. Shinichiro is desperate to save Mikey, and he is willing to try anything no matter how unrealistic it sounds. The delinquents get mad at Shinichiro, and they take him out to an alleyway in order to try to jump him. However, once they get to the alleyway, Shinichiro mercilessly beats all of the delinquents all by himself, and we can see all 8 of them laying on the floor covered in blood. Shinichiro plans to beat these people up until they tell him where to find the old man that was talking about time leaping. Shinichiro approaches the man while at the same time holding a defeated delinquent by his hair. And this scene is also a direct parallel to the scene where Hanma defeats the group of delinquents in the alleyway in chapter 205, and he is holding a delinquent by his hair just like Shinichiro. While he has blood on his face, Shinichiro asks the remaining delinquent to tell him where this time leaper is. This time leaper is Shinichiro's last hope to save Mikey, and he will do anything to find this person. Anyway guys, this scene is where the chapter ends. And I am thinking that maybe this old man that is apparently a time leaper is actually Shuji Hanma, and I think that the reason why they thought that he was an old man is because he looked similar to how he looked when he was a fugitive after Kasaki's death. Because Hanma looked like this during the month of June, and the year was 2005, which is the same exact year, and the same exact month that this chapter takes place in, and also they said this old man was homeless, and Hanma would also be homeless during this time. And the person also said that in order to go back in time they need a trigger, and this is something we know to be true, so this person obviously knows what they are talking about. And also we know that the trigger and the time leaper both have to have strong intentions to go back in time, so I think that there is a very high chance that the trigger could be Sanzu. We already know that Sanzu has knowledge of time leaping, and it seems like Sanzu did not turn out to be an evil person in this timeline, so if he had the chance to help Shinichiro save Mikey, I think he would take this opportunity. The only problem I see with this old man being Hanma is that the gang said that they peed on this old man, and they also beat him up, and I don't think that Hanma would ever take this kind of disrespect without doing anything about it. So I don't know if this theory is possible, but I still think that Hanma has to be a time leaper, because Kasaki also hinted at there being another time leaper before his death, and Hanma has always been so close to Kasaki, so I don't know who else Kasaki would be talking about. I also am wondering where is Senju in this timeline, and what happened to her. And I really hope we get to see the future version of Senju, because seeing her as a grown woman is really something I want to see, and this is something that we have never gotten to see before. I also have been wanting her to play a more important role in the story for a long time, and I feel like her potential has been wasted during this battle, so hopefully she will play a more important role in this timeline. Anyway guys, that was it for my chapter review of chapter 270 of Tokyo Revengers. Also let me know what you guys think of the chapter in the comments below. And like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and thank you for watching.